There is no feeling quite like kicking back and sticking on a movie. It's a chance to escape everyday life for a while, to relax and enjoy the freedom of being entertained for a couple of hours. Maybe you'll laugh, maybe you'll cry, but whatever you do, one thing is for sure: you are not morally responsible for the fate of the characters on screen, right? Wrong. Sometimes a film will come along that puts the viewer in a bit of an awkward position. While most movies limit themselves to only representing the people on screen, this isn't enough for some filmmakers. No, they want the people watching to feel like they are part of the story, a part of the action, and sometimes a part of the problem. Whether the film implicated the audience directly or just referenced their role in the story, they make one thing very clear: you, the viewer, are the real villain. With that in mind, I'm Will for WhatCulture, and here are 10 films that make you the bad guy. 10. Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods follows the inner workings of a shady organization who sacrifice teens to a pantheon of mysterious gods. However, the film slaps on a whole new level of meta-commentary as it becomes increasingly clear exactly who these mysterious gods are. Us. It's not enough that the chosen teens are slaughtered, the gods want to be entertained. It just so happens that their favourite form of entertainment is a trope-heavy slasher flick. Throughout the film, we see the 5 main characters manipulated into behaving like typical horror movie archetypes. The ancient ones watch as, one by one, they get killed off. When the remaining teens realise what is going on and put a stop to it all, the ancient ones are so upset that they destroy the entire planet. These gods are an obvious analogue for the audience watching, demanding sex, violence, and scenes of a very graphic nature from the on-screen characters. This movie dares to ask the question: how many more fictional teens have to die before we've got our fix? 9. The Truman Show. While The Cabin in the Woods at least pretended that the Ancient Ones were villains, The Truman Show makes no such effort to hide its message. You, the audience, are the bad guys, and you should feel bad for watching. The movie follows Truman, the main character in the world's longest-running and most successful reality TV show. There's only one problem: Truman has no idea that he is the main character in the world's longest-running and most successful TV reality show. His entire life is a lie, everyone he knows is an actor, and the island town he lives on is nothing more than an elaborate set. Why is this allowed to happen? Simple: because we're watching it. If we simply changed channels, turned our televisions off, and stopped supporting this sick experiment, The Truman Show would have to end. Truman would finally be free. But no, we keep on watching, simply because that Jim Carrey is just too darn watchable. 8. Natural Born Killers. Natural Born Killers is a case study in examining audience complicity and our hunger for ultra-violence. Oliver Stone's 1994 film used the backdrop of society's mass media obsession as a way of challenging what audiences want and why. It's no stretch to say that our obsession with media has only grown in the last 26 years, making the movie even more relevant today. It also manages to make any modern audience feel even more complicit in the horrors seen on screen. One section of the film, I Love Mallory, is shot and edited like a multi-camera TV show, featuring a disturbing cameo from the usually lovable Rodney Dangerfield. This serves to highlight how we've come to the point where even family-friendly affairs like sitcoms about dysfunctional families can be laced with the potential for sudden violence. 7. The Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie is a true dystopian nightmare. The worst animated movie of recent years is proof that a studio can crap out a heartless, unoriginal mess designed purely to advertise addictive apps to children and still make hundreds of millions of dollars from it. The fact that so many people went to see this dreck is proof enough that mankind is inherently evil. On another level, the movie itself presents humans as uncaring overlords who rule over a society of emotionally repressed slaves. These sentient emojis are forced to clock into their monotonous jobs day after day, to stand in a little box on the off chance that we want to use them in a text. They are required by law to only ever express one emotion, acting one way for their whole life, and their society is wiped out and destroyed anytime you upgrade or even reset your phone. So if you want to avoid committing genocide, better keep that baby charged. Yeah. 6. Sausage Party. Whereas the Emoji Movie presented humans as unfeeling, unsympathetic gods largely by accident, that depiction is the driving theme of Sausage Party. This animated stoner comedy paints humans as ignorant monsters who are incapable of comprehending the pain and suffering they bring onto other life forms, instead subconsciously choosing to block it out so they can continue to live guilt-free lives. All this in a movie about talking hot dogs. At least we get our comeuppance in the film, as Sausage Party party goes in a wildly unexpected direction for its final scenes. We see the supermarket foodstuffs band together and mercilessly slaughter as many humans as they can, before celebrating by going to town on each other in an extremely graphic extended orgy sequence. That'll teach us for eating food without remorse. Now we have to watch produce have sex for 5 whole minutes. 5. The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street is a scathing look at how easy it is for a corrupt con man to manipulate the broken system of capitalism and how ordinary folks celebrate the very people who do that. Although the film is framed as the hero's journey of Jordan Belfort, the titular wolf, it is obvious from his actions that he is the villain of the piece. However, the film also makes it clear that the people supporting him and his parasitic lifestyle are not without blame. Belfort is the bad guy, of course, but in order to be one of his followers, you'd have to be just as bad. So, who are his followers? Why, all of us, obviously. The film ends with Belfort having learned next to nothing about morals or ethics throughout his adventures, teaching his cutthroat business tactics to a convention room full of people. Seeing a crowded audience eating up his every word, we can't help but be reminded of ourselves. And it goes one step further, because this is exactly what the real Jordan Belfort is doing in real life right now, and we're still lapping it up. 4. Star Wars. The original Star Wars movie presented us with a nice binary system that was easy to understand. Jedi were good, Empire was bad. I mean, the Moffs all had British accents, how could they not be evil? However, the following sequels and prequels threw everything we thought we knew into question, really making us wonder if the Jedi we supported were much better than the Sith we hated. We learned that the Jedi believe in emotionally repressing their followers from birth, teaching young children that missing your parents makes you evil, and falling in love is a path to the dark side. If you really want to see how Star Wars turns its fans into bad guys, however, just pop on Reddit and look at the boards in which people discuss The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. I've said it before and I'll say it again, no one hates Star Wars like a Star Wars fan. And I am a Star Wars fan. 3. Mulholland Drive. To even attempt to explain Mulholland Drive would not only be a Sisyphean task, but it would ruin the viewing experience for anyone who hasn't seen it. All I'll say is that you haven't seen David Lynch's surreal neo-noir Hollywood mystery nightmare vision of a film, you should. In one of the most memorable and out-of-nowhere scenes of the film, a mysterious cowboy torments Hollywood director Adam. He ends his speech with an ominous warning: "You will see me one more time if you do good. You'll see me 2 more times if you do bad." We never know for sure how many more times Adam sees the cowboy, but we, as an audience, definitely see him pop up in the background 2 more times. That can only mean one thing: we have done bad. So, what was the bad thing we did that upset the cowboy so much? Well, that remains unclear. You'd have to ask David Lynch himself, and good luck ever getting a definitive answer out of that guy. 2. Funny Games. Funny Games is not a particularly funny film. On the surface, the film is nothing but 2 hours of sociopaths in golf gear mercilessly murdering an ordinary family for seemingly no reason. Right under the surface, barely hiding at all, the movie is an indictment of the glamorization of violence in film. Just in case anyone doesn't understand the not particularly subtle message, the murderers, Peter and Paul, make sure to break the fourth wall and directly implicate the audience in every horrible act they commit. By the time the film is over and the entire family is dead, the point has been well and truly made. The characters in the film didn't do this. How could they? They don't exist. The director did this by choosing to make the film, and we did it by choosing to watch and support countless needlessly violent movies. The blood of thousands of fictional characters is on our hands. 1. Bandersnatch. This may be cheating, but Black Mirror's Choose Your Own Adventure special literally puts its main character's choices in your hands. As anyone who has played through its many different pathways knows, it's more or less impossible to get through the story without becoming a villain. Whether you choose to eat Sugar Puffs or kill Dad, Bandersnatch does its very best to make sure that whatever you do, you are directly responsible for ruining the main character's life and the lives of those around him. Bandersnatch is an interesting standalone experience that puts the viewer in charge of the main character more so than any other entry on this list, and as such, the viewer almost always ends up being the bad guy. If there's anything we learn from this Choose Your Own Adventure game, it's that your choices don't actually matter. You're a bad person, and you make bad things happen. At least in Stefan's opinion, at any rate.